Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we bring a motorcycle to a boat chase with the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Wilfrid the Younger, Porter.
And I'm Christopher Dennis Di Guardia. I'm
welcome
here. I'm back.
You're our friend from the road to Pankot Palace,
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
Is that when I last saw you?
Rode some elephants,
Yeah.
made some friends.
Yeah.
You're that guy from our listeners' Crusade.
That guy, yeah.
You're famous on there. I read
you
your
lived
stuff
there.
all the time. Published.
Well, it's good to have you back here for minute 64 of Last Crusade. 64 is the one that begins with Henry being very confused that he's not going on a boat, and it ends with Indy and Henry racing in a motorcycle and sidecar with 4 or 5 Nazis hot on their heels.
Did any of you guys notice the Coronado lifesaver hanging on the wall? I'm just saying, and this means something.
This is like a cert or like a wintergreen light. Like it
is,
doesn't have any
yeah.
red on
Yeah.
it.
Or it's been sucked
It's
on
been there for a while.
So it's kinda
Yeah.
sticky, and the
Yeah.
hole's
It's a
really
little
huge.
mossy.
It's like someone sticking it under the desk. They stuck it on the wall here.
Oh.
You know, I think Indy untethering the boat and launching it as a decoy, that is one of the smartest ideas he's ever had.
Oh, really? You like
In
that?
all of the movies, I think that's one of the smartest ideas he's ever had. So, I mean, that's
It
grace under credit. Yeah, because you imagine you come down the stairs, you're at a boat launch, and so you're running away, and there's boats there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, let me get in the boat, but there's 2 or 3 other boats. I mean, that's enough. And I mean, talk about being quick on your feet. But what's
Yeah.
it's like, so was his plan? I'm going to launch the boat. It's going to be a decoy boat, and then I'm going to run to the left or hide in the bushes.
Yeah. We don't know at this moment like what the plan is. but
Before
Yeah.
he launched the boat, he I think there's a scene where he looks over and you see his eyes kind of gleam when he sees the crate.
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
but you don't
that's
see what he's
true.
looking at?
Yeah, you don't know what he's looking at. Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of, Jerry?
What?
It reminds me of your uncle doing the exact same thing, but with us in the boat, but the boat wasn't working. You remember that? It's a stupid little rowboat. I'm like, hey, let's go for a ride.
yes.
And we're like, I was like depressed or something. I was like, I don't want to be here. And he's like, well, here, the boat's not starting, so let's just untie it from the dock. And then we're just like drifting in like this dead boat.
We floated out to Lake Erie.
I like that the boat wasn't working and it's a rowboat. Does that just mean you weren't rowing?
Listen,
Okay.
no, Tommy doesn't apply himself.
Yeah. Oh, I got to do stuff now? Forget
The
it.
classic case. Tommy, apply yourself. Jesus, it's a rowboat.
Why isn't this working?
I was told the boat would do the work.
We do.
It was a
I
motorboat, and it wasn't starting. It was.
I remember we just kind of
funny now.
drifted out. And we just
Yeah.
drifted
We
out
kinda
towards
looking at each
Canada. Oh my
Your uncle's a
God.
priest. Maybe you'll figure it out. I don't know.
Maybe you can pray.
Yeah.
Oh
will.
God.
Do you guys think this ruse, like, could he have done this better, though? Like, instead of
Yes.
waiting like 3 seconds and going, ha-ha, and, right in front of them?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, definitely.
They could have just. Yeah, they should have waited until all the Nazis took off.
had a leisurely
Yeah.
escape.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that's what's so strange is that it's such a genius idea, and then
Yeah.
the Nazis are like 8 feet from him.
Yeah.
And all they had to do
Yeah.
was just, take off in the, and then they'd be in the river. And I suppose they could maybe try and shoot at him or something. But he's Indiana Jones; they're never going to hit him.
Yeah.
And but what I wondered about this: does he have to do an in-your-face Nazis? Is that
Oh,
what this
yeah.
is?
I think it has
He
to
does
be.
seem to be enjoying that moment. Yeah.
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 And they play his theme song.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But why is, before we get there, why is Henry so upset that they're not going in the boat? Do you think he just really wants to take a boat ride?
He's very flummoxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, but that's what a brilliant move it is. It's just like it's I'm standing by it. It's one of the smartest moves he's ever done in any of these movies.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I did start thinking about this, and I thought, so last minute he does say, "Oh, great, more boats."
Mm-hmm.
So what if after the Coronado and the whole Venice boat chase, what if Indy now suffers from navophobia?
Oh, maybe.
And like maybe it actually wasn't such like a great idea.
Yeah.
He just physically couldn't get in the boat.
Yeah.
He probably had every intention of escaping in the boat, and then he saw the Coronado lifesaver and was like, "I can't do it."
Forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Do you think every single like daring do adventure he has that kind of effect on him, and it's like cumulative?
Yeah,
He's just after a while he's just going to be like, he's just like a mess. He's just like a bag of kittens. He like can't handle anything.
Eventually, he's just paralyzed.
Snakes and boats and helicopters and.
That's why he's going to end up in a refrigerator in the next movie, because he can't get into any kind of other mode of transportation at that point.
Yeah, he starves to death after that because then he's terrified of refrigerators.
He starved to death after that.
No, nothing refrigerated, nothing cold. I'll eat it raw.
Well, so what? I mean, what's the fear of? What's a crippling fear of your own office hours? I mean, that's the most scared we've ever seen the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's just replacing one fear with another. Like I'll pile boat fear on top of my fear of sitting behind a desk. I kind of demand. There's got to be. I'm sure they didn't film this, but it's got to be somewhere. I need to see Indy leading his dad into the crate.
Yeah.
Indy getting into the crate, getting some, I don't know, passerby or something to like load up lift
crate.
up the front, nail it in or whatever they did. Maybe just tape it or something, kind of like wedge something in there. And then, okay, shh, Dad, shh, wait until they like get in the boats and stuff. And then I'll say, yeah. And then we'll go out and or did they like have a rope? They pulled it up themselves or something, or we don't know.
I think that's why he kind of jumps the gun, is I think they were giggling too loud in there, and I think he was like, oh, we got to just get out of here. They're gonna hear us.
Maybe.
That's genius.
Or they're going to get asphyxiated because he started the engine and they're just like in a box. Yeah.
But this is a total Scooby-Doo moment. Like the way they get into this locked crate.
And by the when you say moment, do you mean the movie?
Yeah, really. Jer was a little miffed about that magic crate in the on the train.
Oh, he did the same thing.
So if you're not furious about this box, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Yeah.
Sneaking into crates all over the place.
Yeah.
But for the record, I think the Scooby-Doo works in this movie. Like I like fun.
No, it's a fun moment when they. You know, it's weird. I mean, we keep saying this, but like the fun in this movie doesn't stand up to scrutiny. Like it's fun, but if you like think about it, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah.
No stamp is that loud. That's dumb.
I don't, and that's, what, I'm not gonna, I love, that's something I don't know. I'm just flummoxed. I just forget it. We can go. I was gonna say that's what I discovered about you, here, Pete, is that this whole time I've been wrong about you, but you really do just like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, I
push over.
Yeah, you're sitting in Johnny Darkville, and that's how you live your life. But you really just like insipid, goofy fun.
Yeah.
You know who does not like insipid, goofy fun though, is Vogel. When he comes through the room and goes down the stairs, like he doesn't even hesitate, which leads me to believe that he must know that this stairway's here.
Sit. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true. Just right around the corner.
See, I was wondering about this. Do you think those other Nazi guards are like, hey, I've never been up here? like, oh my God.
They tell us not to come up here specifically.
They're sitting there thinking, my God, the Rapunzel room has stairs. If only she
They tell us
knew.
not to stand under that room too.
Another spiral staircase to advance things along.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
All right.
Call back to the library.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
Down into the water.
Yeah.
And different
Well,
story.
so I mean, if you think of that room, now that it's been activated, it's really strange. There's stairs, and then there's a chair, and then there's stairs, and that's the room.
Yeah. Do you think it's supposed to be like a kind of prison-like Rapunzel thing, like you said, Pete? Is it like a... But then, like, if a person just happens to sit in the chair, they get a get out of jail free staircase or something?
Good things happen when you trip them.
Right.
Yeah. They could easily just accidentally find, like Henry did.
But how do you get the stairs to go back up? Does some guy have to stand in the bottom and just push them all back up?
It's a great trick, but I can only do it
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. They're just, it's not a trick anymore.
Now that dungeon room is ruined.
Yeah. Another thing Indy's destroyed.
You know what kind of really makes me nervous is I'm imagining Indy trying to pull that crate door up towards him with the motorcycle in there. And unless there's a rope, I know they don't show up, but I'm like, so he gets in there, and is the crate door on the floor? Like, where?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I don't know. Maybe they built the crate around the motorcycle? Like in the 3 seconds it took the guys to get there? There's like a bunch of walls of other crates?
How did they turn the motorcycle on without anybody hearing it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or does it turn on as they burst out of there?
That'd be some pretty slick motorcycle driving if you can do that.
It's all filled with smoke and stuff.
Why don't you tell us,
When they come
Mr.
out.
Fun? How do they?
Well, I used to drive my dad's motorcycle, and they don't start that easily.
Yeah.
It takes a little while.
Yeah.
What would happen if Indy just waited 10 minutes and didn't do
Yeah,
any?
that was the
Yeah,
move.
he could have walked.
But if he had waited, we wouldn't have had this great Dukes of Hazzard Blues Brothers moment where he knocks the Nazis into the water. And I love it. Like their helmets are too big and they go flailing.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised there's not another shot where you look back and they're just these two fists shaking out of the water.
Right.
This is a very like 1980s way of neutralizing a bully, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dump them into a pool or a lake or something. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just very tame for
Yeah,
Nazis.
water
I
is like the
guess.
worst
They're
thing you
completely
can do.
helpless.
back
Yeah,
then.
he used to punch him off cliffs. Now he's
Yeah.
I'm wet.
I'm in 2 feet of water.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the family fun version.
Well, that is a beautifully choreographed Nazi double dive. Mm-hmm. Like both of the Nazis, they mirror each other in their fall.
And they get there just in time to get knocked over.
Yeah.
and that one guy's hat falls over his eyes like he planned it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're way
Schultz.
too big for him. Like they're like little kids in costumes. Yeah, yeah, it's totally Hogan's Heroes.
So then Indy and his dad are taking off, and this will always look like I can't see a motorcycle in a sidecar without thinking of Batman. That'll always be Batman to me. The show and the toys and everything.
Yeah.
But there's that moment of like, Indy like, hey, look what we did. It was awesome. And like Henry's just like not having it. He's like kind of like, oh, this boy of mine, what's he done now? Kind of thing. And it's a weird little moment. Like, what is?
Yeah.
Oh, do
Yeah.
you think Henry's actually annoyed? It's like we could have sat in there for 10 minutes and they never would have found us. We'd be free now. Why'd you leave it that second? Yes, you
Yeah.
knocked over the Nazis into the water. That was fun,
Yeah.
but you ruined it. I'm just wondering why he's so stern right there.
I like how Henry's like clutching his briefcase like he's commuting. Like he's sitting like next to someone on a
Yeah.
bus. He's just waiting to get
He's
to
like,
work.
He's sitting on the train. Yeah.
No.
I think he's upset because Indy didn't count backwards in Greek.
Oh,
Like
maybe.
before he did it. Yeah, before he did it. It's
Or he
just
only
kinda one
counted
of those-
backwards
Oh,
to 5 or something.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's up-
exactly.
That lesson of patience would have paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would have.
Yeah.
And I think he's upset because they didn't get to ride in the boat.
He's still annoyed about that, yeah.
I just think
Misses
he
that
really,
boat, yeah.
Totally. It's like, I knew I raised a son. You and your phobias.
Yeah.
Get in the damn boat.
Yeah.
Was he about to have a
Snakes.
motorcycle phobia after this? Like,
Yes.
this is about to be his new thing?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. These motorcycles are cool though. The one Indy's on is a Dnieper motorcycle that was made in the Ukraine, like in the late '60s.
Oh, really?
And that sounds like it would be crazily anachronistic, but they were actually like, this was Soviet times, and they built these motorcycles from plans that they took out of Germany during World War II. So it's actually based on a World War II German BMW.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Wow.
So even though his bike is new, or newish, it's like kind of period accurate. But the chase motorcycles are 1979 Honda XL500s.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is funny because I used to ride my dad's motorcycle and it was like a late 1970s Honda, and it's like Like I know that exact motorcycle.
That's
It's pretty
funny.
Yeah. But they kind of dulled him up to look like
Right,
Yeah,
right.
kind of greened him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tommy, have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
No. Oh, I've ridden. Oh, yeah. No, I've ridden on a motorcycle.
Look,
but I
like
wasn't driving. I
Six
was on
Flags
on the
doesn't
back.
count.
No, like an actual motorcycle in the streets. With my friend Paul, he got we had to choose between who got the helmet and who got the leather jacket. So I wore the very small leather jacket, way too small for me, with my arms around my buddy with his helmet and his black and white striped shirt, and we looked like a real cute couple. Puttering around Greenwich, Connecticut. It was real nice. But yeah, I think it's the only time. Yeah.
How about you, Jer?
Yeah. You know, it was weird. I was in Paris staying with this family, and the kid, I was younger, and the kid, we were both like 20 or whatever. He would go all around France in this dirt bike. Like it was a motorcycle, but it was like a motocross bike. And it was probably one of the most dangerous things I've, ever done. Because they would zip through these little French towns and nobody cares how fast anybody's going, and they were, young French guys, and it was really scary and dangerous. I'll never forget, I had my suitcase on me, and we were driving to the airport, and we were late, and it was raining. And I was like, oh, my God, this is exactly what my mother is talking about, this sort of situation. And the car in front of us got in an accident. And the dude put on the brakes, and we did that, that front end wheelie thing on the highway.
Oh, God.
And I was like, I hate France. I'm out of here. Take me to the airport.
How about you, CD? You seem like you'd be a motorcycle guy.
No, I think like once when I was little, like the back of my uncle's motorcycle, like down the end of the driveway or something.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that was it. I think that was probably like 7 or something,
Yeah. They're hard to get, like if you don't know how to drive, especially if you don't know how to drive a standard transmission, it's hard to learn how to do the clutch. Like it's not an easy thing to.
It's hard in the video games. It's hard like at the arcade, like those things you straddle and you kind of lean back and forth, and you have to work the whatever thing and I don't even know what it's called, but yeah, it's real hard, but it's fun.
Like when they're all taking off here, the chase team all puts their goggles on in unison.
I like that. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, goggles on, men.
Yeah, and between that
Let's get
and
serious.
this amazing music, it feels very much like Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
Like it's right out of the speeder bikes or something.
Scherzo?
Yeah, the Scherzo is one of my favorite pieces of music that John Williams has ever written.
This is the Scherzo for motorcycles, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Scherzo for motorcycle and orchestra. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he has another Scherzo, which is the Scherzo for X-Wings in The Force Awakens.
Oh, really?
And it's a similar composition. It's kind of funny because it's kind of a Scherzo is kind of like a little. It's like a fun moment almost. It's like a little bouncy. It's Scherzo. It's like a joke.
Uh-huh.
It's like the lighter part of like Beethoven's Fifth. I think the third movement is kind of like bouncy and happy, and it's not so heavy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting with what you guys have been saying about this movie, that like one of the most notable music cues is a Scherzo.
Yeah. Although it's also there's a moment where it also we were talking about this on Facebook a while back too. There's a part of it sounds a lot like the March of the Resistance from The Force Awakens.
The Nazi motif, the bom bom, yeah. That's a little Johnny plays what he sees there. He sees Nazis and he hits the motif.
Johnny plays what he sees. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up. You said there's a leitmotif or a joke motif, because my note for the unison goggle donning is it's like Herbie the Love Bug goes to the Third Reich.
Dean Jones shows up and take that.
Exactly.
Well, that brings up a question for me then. Are these guys on the bikes the same kind of bumbling guys that were going to get into the boat, or is this kind of a special troop like the speeder bike guys in Return of the Jedi who are just sitting off in the wings waiting, and as soon as they get called, they race out?
Well, they're not wet, so they're not the guys that fell in the lake, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, they're
that's
not the
true.
C team.
Yeah.
I actually watched this minute with that in mind, Peter, and there were, I believe, 6 or 7 Nazis getting into the boat, and there's 4 here, right? So I
Yeah.
don't know if they
Yeah.
left some behind, or
I feel like these have to be totally different
Yeah.
guys because
Yeah,
these guys are like hot on their heels already. Like they were kind of ready to go. Like they're trying to put they're behind a billboard or something. Like in a
yeah,
city crash.
yeah,
In Nazi Highway
Yeah.
Patrol.
yeah.
Yeah.
And these guys are all like big and burly, and the guys getting into the boat are all kind of like, "Okay, sir." They're all like kind of like teenagers.
Sing Heil.
that was pretty good there, Pete.
Tom's, that was Tom's. This was the seagull. That was good.
Well, they seem to have a plan, though, the way they're following them. The 3 guys take
Yeah,
the
yeah.
load,
Yeah.
the other guy goes for the pod race shortcut up the
Yeah.
Yeah.
up the cliff there.
I think that's a plan, or do you think he's like sort of hot rodding? He's like, they'll chase him that way. I got a plan. I'm going to stand up from the crowd. I'm going to do something. Take my
Yeah.
high
See,
ground.
but you know, where
Yeah.
have we seen that before? Right? Well,
In the mine trolley chase.
exactly.
Oh,
we
yeah.
see that we got a bunch of trolleys, and then one takes the high road. Yep.
Do you have another
Yeah.
name for the motorcycles, Jer?
Yeah.
Yeah, death traps.
Like bipedal conveyances? or- yeah.
That's pretty good. Bipedal conveyances.
So what do you think? What do you think the plan is for Indy? Is he going to outrun the entire Nazi army?
That's a good
He's
question.
making this up as he goes.
Yeah.
Well, he's surprised to see these guys in the first place. I mean, the planning, again, should have been just stay in the box for a while and let everybody get away and then take off. But now that he's ruined that, so now these guys show up. So now he's got 4 guys on his tail. He's got to deal with that. So, like, yeah, outrunning the whole army, that's going to come later.
Right.
Well, not only is he outrunning the whole army, he's riding into Germany. Like in a second, we're going to see he's going to cross over from Austria into
Right,
Germany.
right.
So he's like going right into the belly of the beast.
I guess you got to take whatever road is available, I guess. It almost
Yeah.
seems like this road dead ends at the castle or something.
Oh,
They're just
maybe.
getting away from that.
Yeah, and I mean, his plan was to go to Berlin. So,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
CD, what are your how would you rank this movie?
I really like it. I think this is. I almost want to count this as like my Indiana Jones movie in terms of the age I am.
Yeah.
Like Temple of Doom
Uh-huh.
was like my older cousins, like their Indiana, like, oh, this is scary. I might not want to watch it. When it came out.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Raiders was kind of like, I wasn't going to the movies in '83. Is that it? I mean,
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi, but that was it. So I feel
Right.
like this. I really do like this movie. When you look at it closely, there's some silly things that I realize I was just accepted. As a 12-year-old in the
Yeah.
movie theater.
Right.
Me too.
No, I'm not totally against any of them right now either. It's just things work out for Indiana Jones. So he
Yeah.
gets out of the crate too early. He steps on a stick or whatever. He always makes it. So
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I like that because I feel like this movie is very much like a cartoon, but I think Indiana Jones works very well as a cartoon. Like it really feels like the old serials. Like it's a different feel than Raiders and Temple of Doom, but I think it works really well.
and I like it. This
as
one's
it
almost like a
Yeah.
video game. Whereas whenever he does anything Indiana Jonesy, he gets it dun 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 dun. Like they kind of
Right.
give him a little give him a little hit.
Throws over
Yeah.
a big coin.
They
Yeah.
totally did that.
I think I read somewhere that they didn't want to overuse it in this movie.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Like they didn't want to hit you over the head with the theme every
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they didn't want to hit you over the head with a theme.
Well,
There's an idea. Finally.
the things that have themes in this, the cross and the Grail have themes. Henry has a theme. Elsa does not
Yeah.
have a theme. The Knight has a theme.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe maybe that's a conscious decision to even with Temple of Doom. They're like, well, okay, everybody knows the Raiders theme. That's the Raiders theme. But we'll kind of lean in more heavily on the themes for these individual movies. or
Wait a
something.
minute.
Right, yeah.
Wait a minute. You just said something fascinating. Yeah,
A whole minute?
Elsa doesn't have a theme.
No.
Is that why?
That's a really
Is
good
it
point.
because she's forgettable?
I think that even John Williams didn't remember her.
Maybe she's forgettable because she doesn't have a theme.
Wow.
But none of the bad guys get a theme, right? Like, is a bad guy in the early?
That thing you called out earlier,
Oh.
the Nazi thing, that pops up every once in a while when
Yeah.
they
Oh, that's true.
when they're hot on the chase.
That's true. Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
That's an oversight. She should have a theme.
That's that. Well,
We've completely broken you, Tom. We need more themes. We need more themes, everybody.
Like every 5 minutes, but like maybe like in Venice when you meet her, whatever. Because then they do like an evil version when you find out she's evil. Like, if her theme is ba ba da da,
man.
then it goes ba ba da.
Switches down.
Somebody get that man a stamp.
Do not get me a stamp.
pretty
I'm gonna
incredible.
throw it at you, and it's gonna make a really loud noise.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, that's
that might
good.
be the missing link there of why she's not remembered. Well, one of the reasons.
Why would that be? That seems like that's a deliberate thing. Like, is it because? I mean, are they trying to? That's really weird. I feel like if she did have a theme, honest to God, I think it would endear you to her a little more
Yes.
early on.
I think like
And you'd be more into her.
the relationship that this movie focuses on is him and his dad. So like
Yeah.
like the dad theme kind of takes place like in the end titles when they kind of run through the whole movie, where they kind of run through like all the themes that were in the movie. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like there's like a reprise of everything, and the Henry Jones theme kind of comes in where the previously the Marion or the Willie theme came in, and the Henry Jones theme kind of resolves
Oh,
into
sure.
the Indiana Jones theme, nicely.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the relationship they're focusing on. I might just be making this up, but
No. We
Yeah, okay.
we touched
No,
on
that's
that.
good.
Makes a lot of
We
sense.
touched on
Yeah.
that in previous minutes of why the whole Indy's dad's presence, Sean Connery, is so strong that there really isn't enough room for anybody else to have their own theme.
Yeah.
Is that why they had them both have an affair with Elsa, because they couldn't have an affair with each other, but he's still the love interest in a sense? And so they had to kind of tie it together.
That's
somehow like
amazing.
that,
I love
otherwise the
that.
audience wouldn't get it.
It's like love by proxy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They basically made out with each other, but not directly.
but I would like to say another major character that never gets his own motif or theme is Han Solo. So this
Wait a
outta
minute.
he might be about to.
Oh, but he's about to,
yeah,
isn't he, in his own movie?
Heretofore, no
Coming
theme.
soon to the theater near
Yeah.
you.
So maybe his
That's
theme
really
is
weird.
dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. He just hears it in his sleep.
Maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
What if the theme to the Han Solo movie was just the Raiders March?
Yeah,
hysterical.
that's awesome. He just makes it up himself in the dream.
Whistling it as he works in the Falcon.
That's really weird that Han Solo doesn't have a theme.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow. Those are two shocking. Yeah.
Sad, though.
Han Solo. But I mean, look, if Elsa had a
I didn't
theme,
know.
then when you go home and you buy the album and you put it on, and you're enjoying the movie, but via the record, you're kind of remember that time? Remember Elsa? It's like, well, now you're in trouble a little bit. You're like, remember Elsa? I once loved her, but she turned Nazi. Yeah.
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 You don't really want to be like skipping down the street as a kid humming the Nazi theme.
Yeah. That wouldn't
Yeah.
that wouldn't really jive with this whole Herbie the Love Bug business.
Not so much. Well, do we have anything else for 64? Anyone?
Oh, wait a
Jared
minute.
Oh
does.
boy.
Why, yes.
Oh.
Well, there is something. Actually, whoa, there's something coming in over the wires. It's
I will never
A
get
little-
used to this.
Yeah.
something coming in over the wires. Whoa, this is a tough one. It's actually in German.
Oh.
Oh, geez.
Yes, it's actually German, so it's a little bit there. It's however the the German wire goes.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
That's the telegraph.
Sorry, Doris. This is a challenge for Pete Mummert. Let's see if he can get this. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Could
Okay.
someone please translate? You'll have to bear with me.
Oh boy.
Herbie der Leibschaffer trifft Wachmeister Schultz.
Herbie the Love Bug just knocked over Schultz. This is basically what we said this whole minute.
He beat you to it, Pete.
I know.
Wow.
The only German
You've been
I know.
holding out on this. Yeah.
Studying.
The only German you know.
I learned that one phrase just in case.
That's awesome.
She doesn't give like an answer key or anything? Because I could be wrong.
Just puts it out in the universe.
All right. Fair enough. Well, on that deeply confusing note, CD, we want to thank you for joining us once again.
It was an honor to be here.
It was a faster ride this time on motorcycles instead of elephants, so I hope you had
Definitely.
fun.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to tell the people about? Any place they can get in touch with you or find you or anything like
well,
that?
you know, as you mentioned on the Listener Society, and if you wish it could be Christmas every day, you can. we had a little show called National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation Days. Hope I did it right, Sean. Pete and Sean German and I we went through the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation one day at a time in December of 2017.
And it's very possible that there's a very, very, very foul-mouthed cameo by somebody else from this podcast.
Possibly, yes. You never know.
Professor Christy Porter?
Could be. Could be.
It's the magic of Christmas Eve.
Does Jerry only get to swear on shows that are about movies with Chevy Chase? Because he did the same thing on the Caddyshack.
It's part of his contract.
I guess so. Well, awesome. Everybody, please check out that. Visit CD over there. Visit him also, like you said, at the Indiana Jones Minute and the Listener's Crusade over on Facebook. Visit us on Twitter. Visit us at all the places. And visit us, of course, here, right back in your ears, tomorrow for minute 65 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Yeah, I've never been up here.
When they put these stairs in. It's actually a pretty spot. You bring my lunch up here.
I mean, think about it. That room, it's got stairs and a chair. That's like the dungeon?
And
It does
straw.
have a table.
Yeah,
Don't
and what are you
forget
going
the
to
straw.
do? You're eventually, like within the first, I think there's a table too, but in the first maybe 8 minutes, you're going to sit back in the chair and open up the stairs.
The whole thing just
Yeah.
folds open to you.
Yeah.
Who the hell built this?
Somebody who likes boats.
Like, and it leads down to a
That's
boat
why
launch.
Henry's so upset. Yeah.